I'm going to give you a little backstory on this and say at the end of 2020, I was working on a video for this channel about the best albums of the year, the top 20 albums of 2020. It was my first attempt at creating an actually thought out and, written year-end album list like that. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of trying to use these albums to ascribe meaning to a really fucked up year. The list very quickly became bloated. It was 31 pages long, and the video was like an hour or so in length of me just reading thoughtlessly from a script that I placed so poorly that I'm actually short-sighting myself in the video. So yeah, that didn't get made. Unfortunately, it also did just mean that there was a lot of music that I really loved that I just didn't get the opportunity to talk about. So I'm going to rectify that today and talk about Loma. Loma are Emily Cross, Dan Dzinski, and Jonathan Mayberg. If I remember correctly from that video that I was trying to write, they all met while they were on tour. They released their debut in 2018, and my first encounter with the band was with their 2020 album, Don't Shy Away. I instantly fell in love with this album. I think they can be best described as art rock. When looking into their album, I saw a lot of comments online comparing them to Talk Talk, and I think after listening to both bands, yeah, that's a pretty on-the-money comparison. Similarly to Talk Talk, they also seem to have a fondness for naturalism and sort of this meditative outlook on music itself. I mean, their release prior to the album Don't Shy Away was literally just a guided meditation, and they seem to try to populate their soundscape with a lot more natural elements. A lot of woodwinds get used across the album. The core ideas and sort of the propulsive movement of the song is often carried between the rhythm section and the vocals, with a lot of other instruments just sort of fading in and out as textural elements. And this is especially prevalent in Ocotillo, the song that we're going to be talking about today. The song starts off with a pretty steady bass and drum groove. There's not a lot of theatrics to it, but there is an apparent momentum. The song is moving forward. It's kind of slow and it's starting to build a bit. And that gets added through these pads and textural effects that start to come in one by one. I mean, right at the beginning, we get just a very small handprint of synths that sounds like a muffled telephone receiver. And shortly after that, we get the sound elements of like distant church bells. And this is sort of the narrative momentum of the song being displayed right at the beginning. It's sort of like the listener is locked into the position of the drums and the bass as this sonic landscape just evolves and morphs around them. I think actually the lyric video that was released alongside this is pretty accurate to how the song feels. It's like the listener is trapped within the car being led through this lush and vast landscape. And the idea of a landscape and sort of this naturalism is actually a part of the lyrics as well. The entire lyrical capacity of this song is only 2 small stanzas, but even in that we get imagery of the sun, different types of plants, as well as this idea of being led into this like strange new world. Emily Cross's vocals also feel just like another textural element. I especially love the moment where she sings Ocotillo and kind of with the last syllable does this little downward triad that immediately gets picked up and repeated by a woodwind instrument. Extending the metaphor of this song of being in a lush and vast landscape. It's like her voice is the human element of the listener kind of dissolving into that. And like all of this is building to something, right? After Emily completes the second stanza as she is saying the word disarray, it's like the song just unfolds. This huge, soaring, dissonant woodwind just dwarfs everything in its path. It's like a musical Pandora's box just opens up in front of you, and all of this confusion, dissonance, darkness, and also just beauty and wonder, all of it just escapes in front of the listener at such a high velocity. After the main break and climax of the song, things settle down, they get calmer. The textural soundscape still remains intricate and wondrous, but it's more manageable, it's more soothing for the listener. It stays there for a while, and then back it goes again. It picks up. These horns come in near the end of the song, kind of displaying this triumphant melody. At the same time, others are just being dissonant and strange. To me, this conveys just like so much the beauty and the wonder of music and what it can create inside a listener. It functions almost as like a sonic Rorschach test. You aren't really confronting any concrete ideas or anything that you can just like solidly wrap your head around. There's no thesis to this song. Rather, you as the listener are just entering this world of abstract sound, and what gets pulled out of it is essentially just what you choose to focus on. Back in the top 20 albums of 2020 song, I described Loma's music as being like these crashing waves that just ebb and flow over the listener. This music doesn't really feel like a song that you follow. It feels more just like an environment that you get captured in. There's tension and there's release, and in the midst of that, there's just all this beauty and wonder. I definitely wouldn't say this is the only Loma song that feels like that. So much of their music just has that enchantment built into it. But this is the song that really captured me the most by the band, and it's the one that I revisit the most often. So yeah, do yourself a favor, go and check out this song, go and check out this band. They're really evocative and strange and beautiful, meditative, relaxing, easy. You know, in the year 2020, I was looking for music a lot as an escape from just being indoors all the time. And yeah, discovering Loma and listening to their music really just felt like being transported to another world. So go check them out. But while you're here, make sure to do all the things that make my channel happy. My name is Alex, and I hope you have a lovely day.